Hello, and hello. It's another Today's Decay, April 28th edition. Here we are, celebrating births and beginnings of everything important since the dawn of time. Isn't that right, pal? Cheers. Today, 1891. I'm going to say the originator of rock and roll was born. None other than Mr. Charlie Patton. I read this great book called King of the Delta Blues by Stephen Colt and Gail Wardlow. Stephen Colt and Gail Wardlow. And it's right here. So what's particularly interesting about this book, or the way it's presented, I felt, was on Dockery Farms with H.T. Spears, you have recording technology appear in the Delta in like the mid to late 1920s. Get it all out. But that's just to say that's when people started to document the music that was going on there. This was not when things were started. Like, you know, you've got wild dance parties decades ahead of time. Charlie Patton is playing his style of music like as early as 1910, maybe even a little bit before that. And all the stuff was designed to be played with like an accompaniment. It was not supposed to just be like a guy with a guitar sitting by himself. But the recording technology was so primitive in that area, or anywhere for that matter at that point, that they were just like trying to set it for the record, no pun intended, to make it as simple as possible, to just have like a single person and the guitar to capture the song, right? But really the way these songs were always intended to be played would have been like a guy in a guitar with a boogie-woogie piano, an upright bass, a rhythm guitar, and like a whole room of like dancing people going crazy. That's the way this stuff was intended. It was dance music, and that's what it's presented as here. That the other people who are like the Delta blues artists of the time were all younger guys, decades younger than Charlie Patton, and Charlie really taught everybody what to do. Now you've got stuff before that like Henry Thomas, who's awesome, but doesn't necessarily capture that like rock star persona that Charlie Patton clearly defined. Yeah, so if you can find this book, King of the Delta Blues, pick it up because it's really awesome. It's stuff I did not know that much about, and it's borderline like, I won't say it's fiction, but it's like nobody was documenting things back then, so who knows the details per se. Yeah, so on this day, celebrate Charlie Patton, as you should on every other day, because he's the reason, I would say, that we know from a historical record, he's the first person to really like be a rock and roller. Yeah. James Bama, born this day, 1926. He was an artist in the mid-century who did a whole bunch of really great monster artwork, like for models. So like, for instance, the Aurora models, the Aurora model kits in the 60s and 70s, he would have done like all this original artwork. There's a really great documentary on the Aurora model craze right here, as created by Cortland Hull of the Witch's Dungeon Classic Monster Wax Museum in Bristol, Connecticut. Yeah, this is a really great documentary. Features James Bama along with Zachary, a bunch of others, all the people who were involved with creating the Aurora Monster company in the 60s and 70s, and then they were reproed in the 90s or 2000s or so. So this is like a repro by Mobius. But, I mean, all this original artwork is super cool. Here's an original one from the 70s. Glow-in-the-dark Godzilla. All this artwork just really drew you to it, you know? And it did its job. So thank you, James Bama. Also, this day, 1928, Coco's Haunted House first premiered. This is a Max Fleischer Out of the Inkwell early cartoon. This stuff's just ingenious. I love these. They're able to create such wonderful worlds and explore one's imagination with like just simple line art. Yeah, it's really good. What else? Oh, right. So James Bama not only did monsters, but also cover box art for TV monsters, such as The Addams Family. And it is Carolyn Jones from The Addams Family, Morticia Addams from the TV show, who was born on this day in 1930. So, what is the point here? It's April 28th. Make it a day for Charlie Patton, or building monster models, or watching Halloween-styled old-time cartoons, or turning on The Addams Family. Or none of the above. They're all just suggestions. Yeah. What are we going to do? I don't know. We might actually watch Creepshow series season 2, because that's been pretty good so far. Yeah. And then we'll put on The Addams Family, because why not, right? Okay. Till tomorrow. Goodbye.